Welcome back to Rivals of the East post-game show for Week 5. And I don't know if you could tell, but Sean, I noticed a little smile on your face this week after a hard-fought victory against the Dan Campbell-led Detroit Lions. You guys did all right, 29 to nothing. What do you think about that? Were you jumping for joy? Because I don't want to talk about Miami right now.
I don't think I'll go that far. I was too busy hoping I was going to hit the 2,500 on the bet. But yeah, Dan Campbell did a little bit of that swinging and missing as he was going down to bite the kneecap or whatever the hell kind of comments he uses. But yeah, the Lions completely self imploded, and the Patriots defense took advantage of that. And Bailey Zappi with a one in the win column.
Wow.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson busts off a 100-yard game.
160
Bailey
something
Zappi,
yards.
yeah, that's it. Patriots, they got it done just enough. Unless you're Nelson Aguilar, you're also throwing up onto the field again. Apparently, that was an interception if you fumble the ball to the other team. But I digress. Hunter Henry, the mythical unicorn, finally appears and shows itself, giving some Patriot passing offense some opportunities for once. Yeah, outside of that, the Lions literally they did everything they could to lose the game. I believe the Lions now hold the NFL record for the most failed fourth down attempts, six fourth down attempts not completed.
Now, Sean,
So
you told me
Patriots.
you said Dan Campbell's going to get fired after this game. I said no, he's not. He's still employed. By the way, he's still not
Well,
fired.
well, anyhow, I'm kind of surprised. Instead, Matt Rule for the Panthers got fired.
Yeah, that's true. I guess there's
Well,
only one coach to rule them all. Huh?
well,
Anyways,
I'm just saying, if I'm an owner, it would have been Dan Campbell after that game. That left a bad taste in some Lion fans' mouth. If there's any alive out there, Mama's spaghetti, I don't know, something like that.
well, they've got how many wins this year so far?
One,
That's more than most years. So a little something to be excited about. Well, I
I'm
will
not even
say
certain if they have one.
they do. I think Bailey Zappi showed he was a good backup in this game. He was competent. He was cool, calm, and collected. Also, when you don't have any pressures allowed, that also helps. So, as an offensive line standpoint, which, by the way, in Miami, I don't know what that is because the Miami Dolphins had a really horrible game, Sean. And we had talked, and I said, I got a feeling I think the Jets are going to win in a dogfight. And it kind of was until the fourth, where they scored 21 unanswered points, 14 and 14 seconds. This Dolphins team, man, we came right out of the gate. I don't know if you saw any highlights or watched any of the game, but first play of the game, Teddy Bridgewater starting for us because Tua's out with concussion. And he gets hit in the end zone.
Back injury.
Yeah, ankle. No, he gets hit in the end zone. Bridgewater does as he goes to throw the ball. Sauce Gardner comes off the edge clean hit, gets him to the ground. Teddy goes into the blue tent right after that play. They call it intentional grounding because there's nobody around, they said, and gave 2 points to the Jets, so they were up 2-0. And then Teddy goes to the tent. And lo and behold, Sean, what team would fall victim to the new concussion protocol? Who else other than the Miami Dolphins? Teddy Bridgewater got ruled out with concussions, or a concussion, sorry. Concussion protocol. He passed the test, but they ruled him out because of the ataxia that's now the verbiage. So who else was going to step in but our 7th round draft pick this year, Skylar Thompson. So
he,
Skylar
he he
Thompson.
sounds like a character from like some kind of like I don't know, a video game or something. But he was awe and very inspiring in his debut. I'll tell you that much.
The Elder Scrolls, Skylar Thompson. But yeah, so Skylar Thompson comes in and he does about what you expect for a 7th round quarterback who's a rookie. There was one play. If you wanted to sum up, this was an actual series of events from the Dolphins Jets game. In the first quarter, I believe it was, Skylar Thompson scrambles. He gets the first down. In the process of scrambling, he loses all of his play cards that are in his little wrist container. They go scatter all over the field. Teron Armstead goes to help pick them up, immediately takes a knee and says he's done, and then he's out for the rest of the game. as he goes to pick up the cards.
Mentally exhausting
And,
right there. He's like, I don't have time for this.
it was the toe injury. I don't know what's going on with the toe. Sean, did you ever see Courage the Cowardly Dog?
Yes.
Do you remember the episode where the old man Eustace had an issue with his big toe and it slowly took over his whole body?
Yes.
Maybe that's what's going on with Teron Armstead. Maybe it's slowly taking over his whole body, and that's what it is. Because that's the only thing I could think of. Because he's been working through a toe injury since, I guess, week 1 of the season, and just
Hey
couldn't do it
man,
anymore.
I had that serious toe injury. I had that infection growing there on my big toe, and I tell you what, I feel for Teron Armstead. I
Yeah,
really do. That's
yeah,
some mean stuff right there.
it is. And so, I mean, I don't fault him, but I mean, he has never played a full series or season, I should say, in his career. So you're already expecting 4 to 5 games he's going to miss. But long story short, Brees Hall ran all over us, caught the ball all over us. Our defense, undisciplined, bad. Josh Boyer, not a good defensive coordinator, in case you hadn't noticed. Could have told you that. And our special teams is trash. Our offensive line, not good. But Raheem Mostert had a 100-yard game, which I was really surprised. Had about 17 carries, 117 yards, and a touchdown, I think it was. And the real story of the game, though, Sean, was Dolphins had a lot of missed opportunities. They had a lot of mishaps. Jets capitalized, and they won 40-17. Not only that, after the game, Tyreek Hill was seen in a walking boot. So you can add his name to the injury list. I don't know what's going on with that. There's going to be more. Of course, Xavier Howard was out this game with the groin injury. No timeline for his return. Byron Jones, not looking good. He's still on the PUP list as of today, and he has not been removed. So we don't know what's going on with his injury, but it's not good. He's not on the field, so it's not good. I don't know. Miami's sitting at 3-2. We're third in the division now. New England is fourth in the division firmly. This is just shaking out to be, I don't know, Sean. I just feel like with the Dolphins, they had the 3-week high, and now everything's just falling apart. And it all started with the
Almost like it
Tua
always
concussion.
does. Almost like it always does for the Dolphins. I mean, now the Patriots are experiencing the sequence of events of what it's like to be as the other team in the AFC East. They are finally witnessing that after 20 plus years.
Yeah, this is true.
Vomiting, slipping on ice, walking out your door, that whole process, spilling coffee down your chest. That's what the Patriots are doing. They won, but I'm not proud of the win. I'm just ready for them to move on and see if the defense and this zap attack can keep rolling.
Zap attack. Trademark it. You never know. What's Bailey
When
Zappi?
when I
What's his number?
when I saw it,
What's his
what?
jersey number?
10. Pretty sure it's 10.
So are we going to get a BZ10?
Is it 7? Maybe it's 7.
Let me look because Bailey Zappi, his jersey number is number 4. So we're going to BZ4 instead of TB12, BZ4. Maybe we got Mac Jones
When I
who
saw
did MJ10.
float like a butterfly and stings like a zappy, I was like, enough, please. No.
Oh, I can already hear Brian Gumble saying, "How to float like a butterfly and sing like a zephyr," with marbles in his mouth or however he talks. Anyways, Sean, so run game is obviously working. You really start to see Bill come together with Matt Patricia and Joe Judgment Day when they're running that offense and they're getting together and saying, "Why don't we just control the clock, run the ball, and let the defense take over when the team is under pressure a little bit more?" Hey, it's working.
Yeah. And just hope the Lions defecate themselves, which they definitely did. Jared Goff looked like the same quarterback we saw in the Super Bowl. He couldn't complete a pass, he couldn't snap the ball, and he turned over the ball again.
See, Sean, this is why Bill is playing chess when everyone else is playing checkers, because on a long enough timeline, everybody falls off.
And then Matt Patricia is playing Chinese checkers because it kind of hasn't been working out till this game. The revenge game, Matt Patricia walking tall, the game everyone's not talking about.
Matt Patricia is legitimately playing tic-tac-toe.
I don't know if you know, he's a rocket scientist. So
Just because you have a pencil behind your ear that you never use.
well,
Legitimately.
see, if it was Bill Belichick, it would be halftime. He would be writing down on a notepad going, "Need more points."
Yeah, like the Falcons Super Bowl. But I guess it worked out, right? 28-3. Good times for some. Yeah, Miami, this game was really bad, Sean. I'm going to go over here real quick some stats and just go over some here. So, of course, Skylar Thompson came in third string quarterback, 19 of 33, 166 yards and a pick, sacked twice. Mostert, 18 carries, 113 yards and a touchdown. We had about a $137 for our rushing yard total between everybody who carried the rock. But really, the story was Zach Wilson, 14 of 21, 210 yards, no touchdowns, but no picks. He didn't turn the ball over. No fumbles, no picks. He took care of the ball. Of course, the Jets ran the ball. Breece Hall had 18 carries, 97 yards for a touchdown. Michael Carter, 10 rushes, 21 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was kind of like a goal-to-go guy. Zach Wilson, 4 carries, 2 yards at the end of the day for a touchdown. He, some negative yardage in there, but he did make a 5-yard run to get into the end zone there. Helped the Jets go up. Breece Hall, 2 catches, 100 yards. I mean, it was not good. Quinnen Williams recovered a fumble that Skylar Thompson had. And I don't know if this did it or not, but Quinnen Williams is running to the end zone, of course, because it's within the 15-yard line to the house. And Tyreek Hill, he wasn't trying to tackle him. He was just in the way. And Quinnen Williams just takes his arm. You've seen the play. And he just
He
shoves
did
him
the
like a
only
child.
sensible thing.
And I just thought to myself, why don't you just go for his legs? Like, why are you going to stand there?
It was just it was embarrassing.
I don't
I've
know.
seen more effort out of an infant trying to reach out of the crib. It was
Kyler Murray?
pitiful.
So,
Yeah.
new Call of Duty game. So I want to say that when I looked at this game, Mike McDaniel didn't call the best play calling here. He had a couple little moments. He did the tight end sneak at the goal line to get a touchdown. He played a couple end around plays. He did a little song and dance here and there with some of his play calling, which is keeping the game alive for us until the fourth, which some of those were pretty good. Defense tightened up around the third quarter. But really, to me, it was a couple of big things. We missed a field goal. It went downhill from there. And then our defense had 2 back-to-back face mask penalties on the Jets, which gave up 30 yards, which resulted in a score. But we're down at our own 7-yard line, 5-yard line. And Mike McDaniel, with a third-string quarterback, calls 3 pass plays in a row. What are you going to do? The play cards got all shuffled out of his little play card holder on his wrist, and you're calling 3 pass plays. He didn't get practice with first team reps or anything like that. And the guy came in and did the best he could. I'm not going to fault Skylar Thompson.
Mike McDaniel is an offensive genius. Okay, don't take anything from him.
That's Adam Gase's tagline. Leave the man alone. He went 4-5 with Lincoln High. Put some respect on his name. But yeah, I mean, Dolphins had a rough go of things. Jets won a tough divisional game, which the reason why I thought the Jets might win this game is because Robert Saleh and Mike McDaniel go back to 49ers. And Saleh's defense was always very good against that Kyle Shanahan style offense because they played against each other all the time. So if anybody knew that scheme and how to prepare for it, I thought Saleh did, and he obviously did. Pretty dominant on that. Of course, third string quarterback coming in. I know there's injuries that come into play, but you know what? Bills were injured all over the place when we beat them. But a win is a win is a win. So the Jets beat us, even if we had guys out. A win is a win. So I'm not going to say hats off to the Jets because they are the Jets. Who knows? They might finish the year 5-11. But honestly, Sean, these injuries racking up, our lack of depth, which I've talked about. This is a top-heavy team. We could be right there with them. And I'm not saying we're gonna be 5-11. No, I'm not saying we're gonna be 5-11, but I'm just saying neck and neck with the Jets at a similar record. It's possible, with
you could be right there with Fireman Ed in that stadium seating.
He retired, Sean.
Yeah, well,
a long time ago. A long time ago.
Groundhog's Day out there for him.
Yeah.
Well, it seems all that positivity from Mike McDaniel has finally come to a conclusion. It's fallen sky out there for Skylar Thompson and the crew. It unfortunately it wasn't Tua that did that. That's all I'll say is I hope that happened when Tua was out there so we could see him for who he is.
Well, the thing is Tua as a starter, I mean, he is 2-0. So 3-0, I should say, because he beat the Patriots, he beat the Ravens, he beat the Bills, and then yeah, he got hit pretty hard against the Bengals, and he's been out since. And without him, we're 0-2, I guess you could say. So if you want to look at it and see what Tua's worth, maybe that's it. Or maybe Tua wouldn't have made much of a difference here. He wasn't playing well in the Bengals game, but was that because of the back injury, aka concussion, or his ankle injury? I don't know. Tyreek Hill's in a walking boot, so he might be under concussion protocols. We don't know. But
yeah, it's crazy. He might have to throw to someone like Mike Gesicki again. Weird.
Gesicki had a nice 30-yard snag in the fourth quarter
catch.
there. Yeah.
One catch. What's going on there in tight end world?
You know what it is? I'm going to put this out there now. Mike Gesicki will not be a Dolphin past the trade deadline. Mike Gesicki will be traded. And the reason Mike Gesicki will be traded...
He's losing some value, though.
Well, he's healthy. And the reason why Mike Gesicki will be traded is because he is on a franchise tag. Somebody will talk to him and negotiate with him, a team that's desperate enough for a tight end. And we'll get either a draft pick or we will get... Now you guys have 2 tight ends. Give me a break. You don't need to be spending...
No. We have 1 tight end. I don't know who Jonnu Smith is, but he is not a tight end.
Listen, if you get a team like the Eagles who would trade like a second or third for Gesicki or would give up a depth piece at corner, we probably would take it, or a lineman. We'd probably take the lineman because, Teron Armstead, he's out. Brandon Shell, who's a veteran for the Jets, he's played for before, and some other teams. He's been to Pro Bowls. He did okay for coming in, but, he's not a long-term solution. So maybe we get a draft pick. Maybe we get another left tackle. I don't know. This team is falling apart, though, Sean. The wheels are coming off, unfortunately, and we've got a tough game ahead of us here coming up. We got the Vikings we're playing. I don't know if you've seen Kirk Cousins going off this last game, Justin Jefferson and him. Bears almost came back. 29-22, they won. But, they start out really hot. And this team, dude, did you know the Dolphins have been trailing every fourth quarter except for the first game of the season?
That's interesting for a team that was so great that I heard.
Well, they played comfortably behind in the fourth quarter. I don't like playing behind in the fourth quarter. Well, I mean, if you want to use the term, I mean, they don't panic, but certainly it doesn't help when you're trailing in the fourth quarter. So I take that back. We were winning 15-14 in the Bengals game in the fourth quarter for like the first 30 seconds. But regardless, anyways, Sean, you guys got coming up, who you play next?
I'm lost. I don't even know. I'm so lost in the win. It's all become irrelevant to me.
Well, obviously you're going to have somebody coming up next. I don't know. Let me take a look real quick to the Patriots here. We play the Vikings, and you all are going to be playing the Browns. So,
burn and brisket.
We'll see what happens in return to New England. But anyways, we'll be back with our weekly show on everywhere podcasts are available here this week later on. And you can catch us on YouTube and everywhere else. And give us a like, subscribe, and share, everybody. And we'll catch you next time.